Grey's Anatomy, Jackson and April's relationship timeline explained. From their impromptu wedding to heartbreaking breakups, Jackson Avery and April Kepner's relationship had a tumultuous timeline on Grey's Anatomy. This article contains discussions/references to gun violence, baby loss, grief, and trauma. One of the biggest pairings on Grey's Anatomy, Jackson Avery, Jess Williams, and April Kepner, Sarah Drew, had a relationship timeline that was just as tumultuous and heartbreaking as Meredith Grey and Derek Shepherd's. Introduced in Season 6, Jackson and April's relationship had one of the best build-ups as viewers saw them start a slow-burn romance after years of friendship. Although they weren't always at the forefront of the drama and episodes, the couple did create many show-stopping moments, ranging from Jackson's wedding rejection and their impulsive elopement. However, that didn't mean they didn't face any major obstacles. Despite Jackson and April's deep love, the couple initially struggled to find common ground because of their different faiths and beliefs. Jackson and April also struggled with their timing, as the pair would often acknowledge their feelings for one another just as they were dating someone else. However, after many seasons and several periods of self-reflection, it didn't take long for April and Jackson to realize that they were meant to be together. Season 6, Episode 5. Episode 23/24. Jackson and April arrive at Seattle Grace Mercy West and become close friends. After it was announced that Seattle Grace would be merging with Mercy West, both April and Jackson made their debut appearance in Season 6, Episode 5, Invasion, as two new residents. Although they seemed to be just simple work colleagues, Jackson and April began interacting more as they struggled to fit in with the Seattle Grace residents. Episode 6, I Saw What I Saw. While Season 6 didn't have many standout episodes for Japril, the writers did do a great job in setting up the foundation of their relationship, providing glimpses of their playful dynamics when Jackson often teased April about her crush on Derek. Episode 20, Hook, Line, and Sinner. However, their relationship changed forever when the hospital was involved in a mass shooting, resulting in their friends, Charles and Reed's, sad deaths. Episode 23/24, Sanctuary/Death and All His Friends. Season 7, Episode 1. Season 8, Episode 20. Jackson and April become roommates, and their friendship continues to grow. By the Season 7 premiere, Jackson and April had grown closer and were shown to be living at Meredith's house, with You I'm Born Again. While Jackson did continue to tease April, it was clear their dynamics had become more serious as Jackson grew protective of the surgical resident, as seen when he punched Alex in the face for upsetting her in Episode 8's Something's Gotta Give. They also became close confidants, with them each helping each other with their placement interviews. Episode 20, The Girl with No Name. Although they weren't in the middle of the drama, the subplots exploring Jackson and April's friendship were quite enjoyable as they provided plenty of sweet and funny moments, which allowed Drew and William's amazing chemistry to be more noticeable. Season 8, Episode 21. Season 9, Episode 7. Jackson and April's relationship takes a romantic turn, leading to them starting a casual relationship, which quickly backfires. Season 8, Episode 21, Moment of Truth, marked the beginning of Jackson and April's romance as the two slept together while taking their medical boards. Although April initially panicked because this was her first time, she and Jackson soon began a casual relationship. Season 9, Episode 3, Love the One You're With. Unfortunately, this didn't last very long as the couple had a pregnancy scare, and Jackson realized that they envisioned different things for their future. Episode 7, I Was Made for Lovin' You. Although there had since been complaints as to how the Grey's Anatomy writers mishandled April's virginity storyline, particularly as they turned it into a gag, the prospect of Jackson and April becoming a couple was quite intriguing and helped make the series feel fresh. Episode 8, Season 10, Episode 11. Jackson and April struggle to repair their friendship and continue fighting their feelings for one another. After Jackson ended their relationship, Jackson and April struggled to become friends again, since it was clear they had feelings for one another. Episode 8, Love Turns You Down. While they tried again after Jackson started a romance with Stephanie, Episode 10, Things We Said Today, and April became engaged to paramedic Matthew Taylor, Episode 23's Readiness, the writers did hint that their romance was far from over as April almost called off her wedding after Jackson's near-death experience. Season 10, Episode 1, Seal Our Fate. Jackson also seemed to be having second thoughts about their romance, as he told Matthew he might not come to the wedding. Episode 11, XX. This will they won't they format became a new captivating hook as viewers waited to see whether Jackson and April would end up changing their minds. Season 10, Episode 12, Episode 13. Jackson interrupts April's wedding, and they get married. Season 10's Get Up, Stand Up is one of Jackson and April's best Grey's Anatomy episodes, as it saw the infamous couple make a life-changing decision. Just as April was marrying Matthew, Jackson confessed his love for her and asked for another chance. Viewers waited months to see the outcome of this unforgettable cliffhanger, and when the show returned in February, the writers didn't disappoint. Take It Back, Episode 13, revealed that April and Jackson left the church together and got married in secret. Considering that the episode also revealed Grey Sloan Memorial had just implemented a non-fraternizing policy, the writers hinted that this wouldn't remain a secret for long. Season 10, Episode 14, Episode 21. Jackson and April adjust to married life and discover they are expecting a baby. After Jackson and April announced to their friends that they had got married in Season 10, Episode 14, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, the couple tried to adjust to married life. While the two were blissfully happy getting to know one another, the couple faced their first major obstacle in Episode 16. We gotta get out of this place, as they struggled to agree on how they would raise their children. Given that they did rush into the marriage, it wasn't completely surprising that the two had this argument, since this was all new ground they needed to cover, so it felt like they had plenty of time to discuss it. However, the Grey's Anatomy writers had a different plan in mind, as April revealed that she was pregnant with Samuel in Episode 21's Change of Heart. Since they were still not on the same page by the end of the episode, more angst and drama was to come. Season 10, Episode 22. Season 11, Episode 11. Jackson and April come to terms with being parents, but complications soon arise after learning their baby has a fatal condition. Although Jackson and April eventually resolve their issues at the end of Season 10, Episode 22, we are never getting back together. Unfortunately, the couple's happiness was short-lived as they discovered there were complications with the pregnancy. In Season 11, Episode 11, All I Could Do Was Cry, Jackson and April learned that Samuel had type I osteogenesis imperfecta, a condition that was causing his bones to break while they continued to grow in utero. Unfortunately, this condition was also fatal, as they learned Samuel would likely pass away after a couple of hours if he was carried to term. This revelation was devastating since Jackson and April had spent the last couple episodes being excited about becoming parents, and were now having to make a difficult decision as to whether to induce labor or not. It was also heartbreaking to see how conflicted Jackson and April were throughout the episode, too, as they struggled to deal with their grief and shock. After several long and emotional conversations, Jackson and April eventually decided to induce labor to stop Samuel from feeling any more pain 12, and to say Episode goodbye. 16. Episode 24. Jackson and April try to find common ground while preparing to welcome their baby. Season 12, Episode 16. When It Hurts So Bad, saw Jackson and April try to figure out what they should do next after Arizona revealed the news. Initially, the two struggled to find common ground as Jackson's mother, Catherine, got involved while April filed a restraining order against him. Episode 17. I Wear the Face. However, in a sweet moment, the two overcame their differences as they realized the one common thing they wanted was the best for their child. Episode 19. It's alright, Ma, I'm only bleeding. Eventually, April gave birth to their daughter, Harriet, in the action-packed family affair. Episode 24. Season 13, Episode 1. Season 14, Episode 2. Jackson and April adjust to parenthood. But April eventually moves out because she still has feelings for him. Season 13, Episode 1. Undo saw new depth being added to Jackson and April's relationship as they adjusted to being parents. In the first episodes of Season 13, the former couple did a great job at maintaining an amicable relationship, and there was even a chance for them to start their romance again after they slept together while in Montana. Episode 16. Who He Is and What He Is to You. Unfortunately, this wasn't in the writers' plans as they had a different storyline in mind. Although April had residual feelings for Jackson, she soon realized that Jackson was falling for their close friend, Maggie, and decided to distance herself from him by moving out. Season 14, Episode 2. Get Off on the Pain. It was heartbreaking to watch, but it was necessary if April wanted to move on. Season 14, Episode 3. Season 14, Episode 24. Jackson and April continue to co-parent Harriet, and April leaves after marrying Matthew. With the writers building up Maggie and Jackson's surprising romance in Season 14, Episode 3, Go Big or Go Home. Jackson and April didn't interact much since they were trying to settle into their new normal and focus on being good parents for Harriet. While their relationship did struggle as April had a crisis of faith and rejected his help, they soon repaired their friendship once April apologized. Episode 18. Hold Back the River. They also grew close again after April nearly died after falling into a ravine. Episode 23. Cold as Ice. Sadly, Jackson and April's much-desired reunion didn't happen this season since April began a relationship with her ex-fiancé, Matthew, again and left Gray Sloan Memorial to provide medical care for individuals who are unhoused. Episode 24, All of Me. While this was a great send-off for April, it did disappoint those who had been waiting years for Jackson and April to reunite. What happened next in terms of Jackson and April's love story after Season 14? With Sarah Drew no longer on Grey's Anatomy, the writers did have a difficult time keeping Jackson and April's love story alive since William's character was still one of Grey's Anatomy mainstays, so naturally, it made sense for him to date other people. However, they did eventually manage to find a way for the couple to rekindle their romance. After Jesse Williams announced he was leaving Grey's Anatomy after 12 years, Jackson's send-off saw the plastic surgeon move to Boston to take over the Catherine Fox Foundation and ask April to move her family with him. Season 17, Episode 14, Look Up Child. After much discussion, April agreed, revealing that she and Matthew had divorced in the pandemic and were now leading different lives. With nothing in their way anymore, viewers knew Jackson and April's reunion was inevitable, and they were right. By Season 18, Episode 19, Out for Blood, Jackson and April were back together. It may have taken a while, but it was worth the wait.